Welcome back to Health Class. We're teaching health by all means and by any means necessary. I'm your virtual health specialist, Sherry Griffith. They call me the health teacher.
And I'm Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, former health professional, educator, now turned technology coordinator.
Well, we're here to help you be the best health teacher you can be. I find in science or in social studies is taught that we're products of our genetics and our environment. But riddle me this, Dwayne. In reality, could we really be under the influence of family and culture more so than genetics? Or are we influenced by media and technology rather than history repeating itself? It makes me think of something that Malcolm X once said. If you want to control a group of people, control their media. What do you think?
Oh, wow. So you're going to ask this question to someone who has had a career in the media. Yes, I was once in the media. I went to college and majored in journalism from the start. Wasn't always an educator. So that was my first career. So it's funny you asked that about the influence of the media and technology, which was the main reason I got out of the media and exited the profession altogether, is because of how much influence the media has. Every news station has a news director. That news director chooses what stories goes. Every block is there's news, there's sports, there's it could be politics, it could be human interest stories, it could be weather, it could be whatever block that station decides. There could be 1,000 stories out there, and they're going to pick and choose which stories they put in those blocks. So they don't always report all of the news. Know that, people.
Wow.
Media does not report all of the news. They choose based on what they think people want to know, what they think people should know, and what they think brings good ratings, right? So I always tell people, be careful with watching the news. Make sure you get all of the information you need, positive information. The human interest stories are great, but also know that there are millions of more events going on in the world or in your community than what is reported in the news. And it's your job to get out there as an individual and find out those good, great other things and positive things happening. Not to say the media that reports all negative. No, they don't. But also there's lots of other things that are positive that are going on that the media does not have the chance to report, because the news is only so long, right? They only have so much time. So get out there. I always like to encourage my students to get out there and find those positive stories or create your own story out there in the community that you can come back and report on. Because nowadays, everybody can take an iPhone and be a reporter of news. Think about it. When I go and pick my phone up and get on Facebook or get on Instagram, I am relying on people who are reporting secondhand information to me just as if the news would. And then I'm going to rely on that person to give me accurate, fast, up to date information, right? Is it always accurate? Is it always up to date? Is it always positive? So that's the influence that our students today have to deal with. Not just Channel 2 News, but also someone's social media account. It's coming from all different directions at them. I couldn't fathom being a teenager right now and having all of this information coming from every which way. How do you decipher between something that is irrelevant, something that's negative, something that's
Wow.
positive, something that's relevant? It is almost overstimulation.
It is.
And if you're not educated, if you don't have the right people in your corner being an advocate for you and giving you the information you need to make those good decisions on your health, then you're going to be in trouble. Um, and let's not say that everybody does have somebody in their corner, but you can also be your own health teacher. You can go and educate yourself. There's tons of resources. There's tons of information. I was that student who went to that library and found those books, found those magazines that can give me the information I need when I wanted an answer. If that health teacher couldn't tell me the answer, I knew how to find it.
Mhm.
So that's my take on the media and the influence on everyone's health, more so than culture or genetics, in my opinion.
Make your choices a positive and a positive. So if you're going to take your media and your friends want to run behind you and be a cameraman, and have the best setup ever and knows how to perfectly position cameras on this phone that doesn't even need to have phone service, you just need an internet or Wi-Fi connection. Why not be the influencer?
I like
Why
that.
not be the positive influencer? And so when we're analyzing the influence, that influence works both ways. And so, how about your family and your culture? You know, yeah, the media and technology, if we finagle it, we can do that and make it a positive thing. But as adolescents, what about being under the influence of your family, your culture, and your peers?
One of my favorite topics in health is talking about the influence of family and culture. We live in a time where the typical family is comprised of so many different cultures, right? So many different walks of life, different races, different religions, different nationalities. Um, Students today have a plethora of resources and ideas and ideals that can influence them, in a positive way. And especially with talking about family, starting with the adults in your household, always go back to talking about my son who watches everything I do. Every decision I make, he is right there honing in. I may not even know he's watching or listening.
They don't miss anything.
He is always watching, he is always listening. And I have to keep a conscious mind, knowing that the decision I'm about to make, there could be somebody, watching or listening to me. So I want to be that influence on my family that brings about positivity, especially in terms of health. I want to be that one that even going to culture, I like to pass down a lot of, even we can say rituals or pastimes or however you want to phrase it, of things that your family passes down generation after generation. And we've all been victims of it, and we have all been small and and young and don't like the things that our family does as a unit together, or it could be weird or boring or lame. But a lot of those things students don't realize is culture influencing my health. And even before a textbook was ever invented, before social media, before internet, before a car, before anything, all we had was family. All we had was culture. All we had was the stories that were passed down, the the rituals that family experienced together. That's all we had. And I really hope that everyone is understanding that this is important to our students, our kids right now. It's very important to keep that going, just to have that background. I always like to say just that strong base of where you want to go in life. It has to start somewhere. Even before you can make your own decisions, you're relying on someone else who's making decisions that you're watching.
Thanks for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people?
Just thank you for being there. Thank you for listening today. And remember to continue to educate and to be that health teacher for yourself, your family, your friends, and for everyone around you. and we appreciate you.
Health classes for everybody. Thanks for joining.